Hello, my friends. My name is Revd Dennis Woodward. I am chaplain to the Port of Rotterdam, working for the Anglican welfare charity, the Mission to Seafarers. It's nearly Sea Sunday, which is that date in the church's calendar on the second Sunday of July, but you can celebrate it any other Sunday as well, where we honor and celebrate the life of seafarers, those 1.6 million men and women on whom we all depend. Life would look so radically different without them, with more than 90% of the world's goods traveling via sea. Our global economy would come to a halt. And certainly the Port of Rotterdam, where I minister, the Dutch economy is hugely dependent upon it. It's a big catalyst. It's Europe's largest port by far, 42 kilometers long, over 1,500 kilometers of pipeline, 30,000 seagoing vessels call upon Rotterdam each year. That's about 500,000 seafarers. My congregation is both very transient and very large, you might say. But I'm so glad to be connected from MTS port chaplains all over the world. And we have in this diocese several MTS stations. We have them both in Rotterdam, in Vlissingen, also in Belgium, in Antwerp, in Izmir, in Turkey, and very fittingly for our diocese, in Gibraltar. Now, I understood that Bishop Robert drives an electric hybrid car. And one might ask, how did that car, which was made in South Korea, arrive in the Port of Rotterdam? Well, that would have been a very lengthy journey of 12,500 nautical miles. That's 23,000 kilometers, which will have taken nearly 6 weeks to arrive in Rotterdam, passing through various seas along the way, not the least through the Suez Canal. And the Suez Canal became world famous when March last year, the Ever Given, that large container ship, got stuck. And the eyes of the world were upon this ship that eventually, after about 6 days, was freed again. And some of my NTS colleagues, both in Port Said, later on in Felixstowe, were able to support this crew on board the Ever Given, as I was in Rotterdam when she finally arrived. But what are some of the key issues we're facing as MTS chaplains at the moment? Well, the obvious one at the moment is the ongoing war in the Ukraine. I meet a lot of Ukrainian and Russian seafarers on board ships, and some of the issues logically at the moment for Russians would be that they're unable to send funds back home through various accounts and SWIFT codes being blocked, banks and sanctions that are in place. And with Ukrainian seafarers, the moment they get home, they have to pick up their rifle and fight for their country. And now, while some are keen to do that, it obviously has implications, not the least for the safety for their families at the moment, some who have become refugees. This is a very sad situation that we're encountering at the moment, and this is a reality myself and many of my colleagues are dealing with at the moment, trying to support particularly Russian and Ukrainian seafarers at this time. Now, through the support of our network of port chaplains, of honorary chaplains, of staff that we have at headquarters in London, we try and care for seafarers as best as we can. I had, just to name an example, a story where I was able to support a Filipino seafarer living with HIV. And this was 2 years ago during the height of the first corona pandemic. And he had brought along extra antiretroviral medication. Unfortunately, he'd nearly run out. And so I received an emergency call if I was able to help and get him more ARVs in order to basically for him to keep living. This is quite a very serious thing. And I was able, with the help of port authorities, Port Health Center, the ship's agent, long story short, I was finally able to see him on board the ship and hand him a new supply of ARVs. And obviously, this Filipino seafarer was delighted, as was I, to be able to help him like that. So, why would anyone want to become a port chaplain instead of a parish priest? Well, I already found when I was training for the ministry at Ridley Hall in Cambridge that it was round hole in a square peg, and that the Sunday bits, even though I could do them, wasn't where my heart was, where my sense of calling was, if you like. I really like supporting people in that Monday to Friday bits of their lives, the everyday lives, and offering an interest in them pastorally and spiritually. And now I minister to seafarers who are often on the margins of society. But I really like the missional model of my ministry, where I go out to them on board their ships. I don't expect them to come to me. And so I see, if you like, the biblical basis for my ministry as Jesus on the Emmaus Road, as he travels with those two disciples and then releases them again. And I see that in my ministry with seafarers. I journey with seafarers and then I release them again in the very capable care of our loving Father. And so thank you for briefly listening to me talking to you, for watching this video. And thank you so much for showing an interest in seafarers' welfare. It really makes a difference. And please, this Sea Sunday, the 2nd of July, pray for seafarers. Please continue to pray for us as port chaplains, but continue to remember seafarers in your prayers, because your and my life really depends on them. And so I wish you a happy Sea Sunday. #, thank you seafarers. God bless.